In this video, I want to teach you the order of operations. Now, before we begin to solve this question, let's take a closer look at PEMDAS. Now, we use PEMDAS whenever we have operations like the one here, where we have plus, negative, that is minus sign, we have division, multiplication, all together in one question. They are mixed, and also there can be exponentials, parentheses. So whenever we have this kind of questions, we follow PEMDAS. That is the order of operations. Now the order of operations is that we always begin with the parentheses. After solving the parentheses, we move to exponentials. That's E. The E stands for exponential. M stands for multiplication. D, division. A, addition. And S, subtraction. So this is the order of operations, okay? We start with parentheses, then exponential, multiplication, division, addition, and then subtraction. Now let's go ahead and solve this question. Well, we have a multiplication sign here, as well as we have parentheses, okay? Now, here is a quick fact I want to remind you. Whenever we have only addition and subtraction in our operation, the order does not matter. We can start with subtraction or addition, the answer will still be correct, okay? And then parenthesis also serves as multiplication, so that's why it will not make a difference with multiplication. Now, let's solve this question. Okay, you have negative 2 multiplied by positive 3. Now, because the signs are different, a negative sign and then a positive sign, the result is going to be a negative sign, okay? So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. By the way, if you don't know sign conventions, like how to multiply signs, a negative sign multiplied by a negative sign multiplied by a positive sign multiplied by a positive sign, or how to add sign numbers, that is integers, when you have a plus and a minus, like a negative number plus a positive number, how to do those operations. If you don't know how to do that, I have already made a video about that. I will leave the links below, so feel free to watch the video whenever you have time. Let's continue. Now let's bring down the positive 4, okay? Now we have negative 6 plus 4. Now, because the signs are different, we subtract the magnitude of the two numbers and then use the sign of the bigger number, that is the greater number. This is what I'm trying to say. Because the signs are different, we subtract the magnitude of these two numbers. Then the bigger number, of course, which is 6, we use the sign of 6, okay? That is 6 minus 4 is 2. And then the sign of the bigger number, which is 6, is negative. So this is the final answer to this question. Let's go ahead and solve another question. Let's say 2 multiplied by negative 4. Then we have minus 2 times by 3. Again, do we have a parenthesis? Of course, we do have a parenthesis here. We have a multiplication, and then we have subtraction. Now let's go ahead and then use the order of operations. First, we are solving the parenthesis, okay? 2 multiplied by negative 4. Now the sign of 2 is positive, of course. Positive negative is negative. So here the sign will be a negative sign, and then 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. Now let's bring down the negative 2 multiplied by 3. Now again, what do we have in the question? We have subtraction and we have multiplication. So according to PEMDAS, we do multiplication first before subtraction. So let's go ahead and do the multiplication. Negative 2 multiplied by 3, or 2 multiplied by 3 rather, is 6. Is 6. And then, because the signs are different, the sign of 3 is positive, and then the sign of 2 is negative. The sign here will be negative. When the signs are different, the result is negative. Let's bring down negative 8. Now we have only subtraction in our operation. Now let's go ahead and finish the question. Now we have two negatives, okay? Now whenever the signs are the same, remember, we add the magnitude of the numbers and then maintain the sign, okay? So 8 plus 6 is 14, and then we maintain the sign that is negative. And this is the final answer to this question. Let's try one more question. Let's say we have negative 4. Let's say we have a negative 4 multiply by 3 minus 2 multiplied by 5 is equal to. Now here is what I want you to do. Please pause this video, try to solve this question by yourself, then you can continue watching to see the solution. I hope you are done. Let's begin. Now in this question also, we have multiplication, we have parentheses, we have subtraction. So again, we follow PEMDAS. That is, we start with the parentheses. So where's the parentheses? This is the parentheses, okay? Then we have to solve the parentheses first. That is, we have to solve this expression inside the parentheses first. Let's go ahead and do that. But well, inside the parentheses 2, we have different operations. We have subtraction, and then we have multiplication. We have a subtraction here, we have a multiplication here. Which one do we begin with? Again, we use PEMDAS. So inside the parentheses, we have subtraction and multiplication. Where do we begin? Yes, we begin with the multiplication because we have multiplication before subtraction. Let's go ahead and do that. Negative 2 multiplied by 5 is negative 10. Okay, sorry, it's negative 10. Let me put that a color. Okay, it's negative 10. Then we bring down 3. Again, the parenthesis is not finished. We bring down the negative 4. Again, according to PEMDAS, we have to start with the parenthesis, so we have to complete the parenthesis. Now inside the parenthesis, we have only one operation, which is subtraction. So let's go ahead and subtract. We have positive 3 minus 10. Because the signs are different, the sign of 3 is positive, and then that of 10 is negative. We subtract the magnitudes. That is 10 minus 3 is 7. Okay? And because 7 is bigger than 3, because 10 is bigger than 3, we use the sign of 10, which is negative. So we have negative 7 here. Okay? And now we close the parenthesis again, multiply by, we bring down the negative 4. Now that we have only multiplication and parenthesis, as I said before, addition and subtraction, parenthesis and multiplication, the order does not matter. So let's go ahead and finish the question. So negative 4 multiplied by negative 7. Because the signs are the same, the result is going to be a positive, okay? It's going to be positive. Minus multiplied by minus, or negative multiplied by negative, is positive. And 4 multiplied by 7 is 28. And this is the final answer for this question. Let's go ahead and solve one more question for clarity. Okay. Let's say we have, let's say 8 minus 2 plus 3, 6 minus 2, okay, minus 3. Again, pause the video, try to solve this question by yourself, then you can continue to see the solution. Let's begin. Again, in this question, we have two parentheses. So according to PEMDAS, we start with parentheses. Now, it does not matter here whether we start with this parenthesis or this parenthesis, because a parenthesis is a parenthesis, okay? So let's just go ahead and solve the expressions inside the parenthesis separately. Let's start with the first one. We have 8 minus 2 plus 3. So as I said, when you have only addition and subtraction in the operation, the order does not matter, okay? But for the sake of this video, because we are following PEMDAS, we will follow PEMDAS again to solve this question. So according to PEMDAS, we have addition before subtraction, right? So let's begin with addition. Now we have 2 plus 3, that is 5. We have a 5. Let's bring down the negative sign and then bring down the positive 8 in the parenthesis. So in the second parenthesis also similarly, we have only subtraction in this question. So we can go ahead and then do the subtraction step by step. Let's bring down the negatives. Sorry, let's bring down the positive 6. Negative 2, okay? We have a negative 2 here, minus 3. Because the signs are the same, we add the magnitudes. That is 2 plus 3 is 5. We have 5 here. And then we use the sign of the bigger number. Now 3 is bigger than 2. The sign of 3 is negative. You put a negative sign here. Again, in the first parenthesis, we have subtraction. 8 minus 5 is 3. Because 8 is bigger than 5, the sign is going to be positive, because the sign of 8 is positive. Okay? Now we have solved the parenthesis, then multiply by 6 minus 5. Okay? Sorry, this was supposed to be white. 6 minus 5 is 1. And now because 6 is bigger than 5, the sign will be positive. But there is no need to write the positive sign. Of course, we can write it if you want. You can write the positive sign here, positive 1. And then positive 3, let me put them in a bracket. Positive 3 multiplied by positive 1 is 3. And then the sign is positive because we have the same signs. Positive multiplied by a positive is positive. And this is the final answer to this question. Now, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching this video.